Welcome back to the channel. Today we have this, what year is it, 98?
95.
So it's a 95, so it was OEM,
Yep.
It was an OEM Zenki with a kouki front end. Yeah, just a kouki front end swap because that's Zenki taillights. So right now in the process, we're gonna get this pushed in and then we'll kind of talk about what's going on with the car here, and we will go over what this is. Ready? Oh, dude, those shocks are bouncy. Hey, 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 hey. Do you feel it low riding yet?
I wonder if this thing even starts.
What the actual hell is that? All right, while David jacks up the car to kind of get everything inspected, and before I walk you guys through what's going on, I ask that you guys please follow the channel, please share with your friends, comment on these videos, hit some of these links. We got a lot of really cool things coming up, and we can't do it without your guys' support, so they'll be very much appreciated. Now, we have this 95 Nissan 240SX that was a barn find. I think the guy was from California, if I remember correctly, and he brought it here. Small little backstory, he moved here, that's why it's here. He knows Dave. Dave's a killer guy with 240s and just Japanese cars in general. He runs D-Spec, which is an SR specialty shop, and he's looking to improve his shop by doing wiring, link stuff, a bunch of other crazy stuff. So, and Max ECU, so follow him on Instagram. I'm gonna walk through this real quick from tip to butt and tell you guys what we got going on here. So this has been not running for about 8 years. Dude, the motor looks clean for its age. I was told that the injectors are brand new. The fuel system is something we need to look into. That's what we're getting the car up for, to show you guys. Now, everything here is just actually in really great condition for, you know, all things considered. Like, it's definitely old. It's definitely been sitting. There's definitely a lot of work that needs to be done. But we got the kouki front end swap, which is done actually really nicely just by first glance here. Nothing's hacked up, and I know these are direct front swaps on these, but you know, most people still, you know, add like weird brackets and stuff for whatever reason. So this is actually really nice to see, and actually see it all lining up really nicely and not causing a whole lot of issues. I wonder if the fog lights and everything work good too. Now, the car's been sitting, so we don't have, well, much power, I'm assuming. Battery's disconnected again. Now, I'm going to start with this front here and just show you guys this whole front end. You can see all the surface rust. That's how you know this has been sitting. I haven't been underneath the car to look yet, but the goal is to get this back in a drivable state, so to speak. It is automatic, don't hate on that. Nice little NRG quick release setup. So David mentioned something that I learned today, and I'm sure maybe a lot of you don't know it, but most 240 owners just throw a cover, dash cover, right? That's what we do, because all these dashes crack. It happens, you know? But he's telling me there's something called a dash cap, and it's a hard plastic. I don't know the process. I ain't going to explain it. We're going to have to do that video another time, but he's going to show how that works on these. So theoretically a better, I guess, alternative to the covers if you don't want just the cover. So that would be a really cool video later on. All right, since he's already ready, we're going to get under here. Just take a look real quick. Oh!
So a little bit of rust right here.
That's typical. That's typical 240 stuff right there. And, oh, you're right. Yeah, the gas tank is up top here. Okay, I do remember that. Because I did have to pull the sub frame. Dude, this is...
Yep.
See, this is rough.
So at the front, there's wetness right there at the gas tank.
Oh, so it's cracked.
All
right, we're going to look at that. This is a nice exhaust.
Yeah, it's a Blitz near spec. Actually, very expensive aftermarket exhaust. They don't make anymore. Yeah,
is that gas?
Yeah, it's sticky. It's fuel though. That's from tarnished fuel. It's definitely leaking from somewhere. So we got to figure that out. It doesn't look like it's potentially cracked at the tank. Oh wait. There it is.
So somewhere right up in here. I'm just kind of filming the camera just to see if it's gonna pick it up, but I don't know if it's actually gonna pick up what he is talking about. I mean, but you guys can see, you know, it's a clear wetness right here, which is definitely an indication of a leak. Oh, those frame rails. Holy shit. Hey, buddy.
I've seen.
Yeah. The other concern that we have as well is the trunk doesn't open. I mean, you can see it there, so we got to figure that out. If I remember correctly, these seats come down. You can come through.
That's what we're going to have to do.
Yeah, and we'll have to pop it from the inside. But it's another reason why I'm here.
So on the inside of these latches, this latch, it doesn't have a release mechanism on the chassis. The release mechanism is actually on the actual trunk lid. And it's a little tiny piece, and you move it, and it'll pop the trunk open. But you have to get access to the back. So I'm going to do that.
And so the reason why we're going into the back here to get access to the trunk is, for one, to fix this. Two, be able to get into the fuel tank, since we know it's leaking when it's a plastic tank, but the hanger, fuel pump, all that stuff is not plastic, right? And once you introduce air to a system that doesn't have fuel in it or has been sitting for a while empty, typically this shit's probably fucked. Are you claustrophobic?
Yeah, I'm claustrophobic.
You want me to do it?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, I need you to go out by the trunk.
Yes, sir.
Pull up when I tell you to.
Okay, I just have my hand right here.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
Good luck, sir.
Pull up.
I'm pulling up. Oh, that's stuck.
Ta-da!
Ta-da. Are you alive? You okay? I don't think I've met anybody who actually has a legit claustrophobia fear. I guess claustrophobia is the name of the fear, but you know what I mean. Is it claustrophobia or castophobia?
Claustrophobic.
Oh, man, I should not have dropped out of school. All right, so that's a ton of rust. But if you guys have been watching my channel since the dawn of time, you would know that my S14, do you remember how it was so much worse? Okay, so, my 240 had this. I told you. I told you it's so smashed, dude. Again, if you guys watched my channel from the dawn of time, maybe go watch those videos of my S14 days. But man, dude,
this is pretty punched in right here.
Yeah, it's punched in. But same with mine. The frame rail looked fairly straight, but it was just all the body stuff that was all jacked up.
This is just so weird.
This side over here too is pinched in.
There's literally like a half-inch of Bondo on the quarter right here. It's not supposed to be.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, hey, you know, I got to give them credit for, I don't know, Bondo's kind of an art to me. I know people hate on it, but when you could get it this fucking good, I actually got to give you kudos.
Yeah, look, so this is even weirder. So they put quarter panels on here. They riveted it. They riveted some kind of quarter panel.
Interesting. Nissan does not recommend that.
Is it fiberglass? It's not fiberglass over, is it?
I don't think it is. Whoa!
Whoa. Oh, ah!
Yeah. Bloop. Dead. It's the little red wasps. They don't fuck with you. Unless you fuck with them. I killed one of them for you. Get out of here. All because of that right there. Fucking California. Yeah, there's one more.
Why didn't you kill it all?
Because I wanted you to face your fear. Hey guy, buddy. Yeah, go kill it. Oh, all right, I got it. It's gone now, but.
Okay, just douse that.
Yep. There's eggs. Whoop, I'm missing. Oh!
That is original.
That is.
There's never been touched.
That hose on the end, just by looking at it, looks kind of old, brittle. It might just pull right off.
Yeah. So a lot of people start with old cars and they end up hurting themselves and losing interest, etc. So by having some good tools for old cars, it makes it easier. So these are old tools, but basically I use them to remove hoses. So it's called a hose clamp plier. You just kind of, instead of pulling on the hose and creating a hole, like, you know, like that, like it fits around it, it's actually better because think of like a Chinese finger trap, and you just push on it.
And that's exactly how I do it, and I love that tool. That's one of those tools I'll buy, and my wife will be like, why the fuck are you buying that for fucking $60? I'm like, you don't understand. I'll use this tool more than you think. Having the right tool makes things so much easier, doesn't it? I guess we're back on the correct tool topic. That's actually a very special tool for this S14.
So basically, you get it snug like that.
Yep, on the fins.
Yeah, and you tighten it.
And then you turn it like a ratchet, and it should break loose without breaking it, because you can definitely break it with your pry bar or flathead or whatever you're using to hit it with a hammer. Definitely can do it with that, but you know, if you got the right tool, or if you got access to the right tool, use the right tool. Oh, dude, that was easy. Oh, look at this guy go. He's unstoppable. Except from that hose. Oh, that hose is back to fuck your shit up. Oh yeah, that sounds like an S14 right there. Can you guys see that? No, you definitely cannot, but my camera doesn't focus on small little tiny things, unfortunately. But you can kind of see the tint of the green, and yes, that is definitely corrosion in that connector. No bueno.
Now is the diving part. So on the S14, it has a fuel hanger on the inside, and you have to pull up. Kind of fishing in the dark. So,
fishing in the dark.
Yeah.
Fishing in the dark. Come on. I'm gonna nickname him the Angler.
Nope.
Look at this guy.
All right, so this is a priceless piece right here for S chassis stuff. This is the S14 fuel sending unit. This gives you the level. I don't think this is gonna work, but we'll see.
Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, look at all that rust. Yep. Everything in there's rusted really bad. I don't want to drop my camera in there. Whoa! Whoa! Dude. That is what we call a fucked up. That's stunzo. Why is this so thick? Can you explain that?
It's tarnish. That's how long it's been sitting.
That's what happens to fuel?
Fuel doesn't get like that in a couple of years. That's like a while.
I never knew that. Well, yeah, I would have never known that because I've never experienced a car like that.
But even from inside here, these you can't even. These are hot. These are like $400, $500 just to buy the sending unit.
Well, and the fuel tank itself is.
And it broke
yeah,
it's already
done.
Destroyed.
Fuel tank alone is well over $1,000.
Yeah.
And that's a plastic tank, right?
Yes.
So we can't even clean it out and just weld it shut.
There's a way to do it, but the problem is because of the tarnish level that's in the tank, the plastic's already been compromised.
So you think it's already soaked in? If we were to put heat at it, it would just fucking explode on us.
It'll crack another area because of the tarnish.
Well, cracking doesn't scare me as much as exploding.
Oh no, exploding.
So since we know that, that's kind of going to be our base to start with. When talking with this guy and let him know what we need to do first, and then we'll kind of go from there. But check this out. This trunk. Yeah. Again, don't know if he'll go for it or anything like that, but this is, still a concern. The thing about coming to, over here and working with D-Spec and everything like that, he has an eye for detail, an eye for quality, and likes to do the best he can. You know what? Before we get out of here, yeah, let's do that. Let's fucking beat it with a hammer. I like that idea. That's one of my favorite things to do. Hammer. This is.
So basically, the reason why I use this is because it's weighted enough. You just have to gently tap it.
What he really means is this is technically a hammer as well. Okay, you ready? Wow.
Well, we know it's not gonna do it again.
Well, yeah, the starter's done. All right, so this just goes to show that all your problems can be solved by smacking stuff. We had talk about doing the compression test on this. I don't think that's going to happen. We already kind of know, again, the whole base of everything we need to start with here, but we want to, or he wants to inspect those dirty ass spark plugs.
Yeah, they have corrosion on them.
Yeah.
But dude,
A little bit of oil too.
I don't see any white discoloration on them from coolant or lean condition. So
Cool.
The motor should be pretty healthy. He said he ran before. And right here, this is very interesting right here. This is painted like someone said it and didn't want anyone to touch it. So I'm not gonna touch it.
Interesting.
Like it might be the motor itself was rebuilt at one point.
Possibly.
Or the cylinder head was redone.
Possibly.
But as of now, because it has a new water pump installed on it.
There's a little gunk buildup. I can't show you guys on camera, but I can see just right along the gaskets. There's some buildup around it.
But it has oil in it. Oil's in good shape. It's pretty clean.
Nice.
Look at it. An actual Nismo
Ooh,
cap.
That's a $400 cap.
And so the Nismo caps are actually, instead of having rubber, this is actually silicone. High temp silicone. And high temp silicone seals better, it doesn't crack. That's why when you see all these racing hoses like this right here, this is also silicone. Typically, like when you have a rubber hose right here, it tends to be very hard and brittle. But as you can see, when you have silicone type hoses, they can't hold pressure very well when it's in a hose fashion, unless it's reinforced. Those are really hard to find.
All right, so you have it here, a barnfind 240. Crazy that it hasn't ran in 8 years, right? The owner of the vehicle did say it was running back then, but just sitting for so long, as you saw, can cause a lot of issues, especially in the fuel system, which is fairly typical. I mean, that's to be expected, right? But to double check everything and look into everything, that's the right way to do it. You can easily just tell somebody, oh yeah, we already know it's going to be messed up, but you take the time, do it right, and have actual good information to give. Now, this will be part of the series. So we got the Z, we got my 240, we got things coming in and out of the shop here. So I'm going to do my best to come over here. Again, you guys' support to the channel and everything like that can allow that to happen and allow us to do more things. There's a bunch of other ideas that we have that we'd like to put in motion, but we'll start off with these that we have so far to get us out there, and everything with this, I will try to be here as often as I can. I mean, I still got, personal life and everything like that. I'm going to try to get him to film a little more. So that way he can at least send me stuff if I can't make it, and I can hopefully create a full video on it. But with that, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and follow DSpect on Instagram. Hit them up for any SR stuff, any SR related stuff that you have, or Max ECU or Link ECU or anything like that. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye.